Ho ho ho. Why am I wearing that? I don't like that. Welcome one and all. Impromptu live stream. I haven't done one of these in a long while, especially as I'm also live on Instagram. Live on Instagram and live on YouTube at the same time. Multitasking hero. Hello everybody. Welcome. There's 25 of you here. The reason for this live stream is, well, first of all, big thank you to those who have just subscribed on YouTube and new followers on Instagram. Thank you, because it's all because of Tom Pidcock. I was going to do this anyway, but because the KOM was taken, I'm doing an impromptu live stream. So here we are. Hey Troy. Bunch of you. Hey, I'm waving back. I'll wave. I won't actually press the emoji because there's too many of you. Actually, there's only 30 of you. We make up a small peloton. 30 of us. That'll be good, wouldn't it? Geordie's here from Mallorca. Stuart's here. Plus John. How are we all? Hello, cyclists. Warner, how you doing? I hope you're all well. What was I going to say? Yeah, so thank you for following. Thank you for subscribing. And we're just going to open it up for a bit of a Q&A because I haven't sat down and done one in ages. And here we are, basically. And it seems like a good time as any because of what's just been happening in the media, unfortunately. I'm not wearing my black armband out of solidarity for losing the KOM. There was something really important that I also wanted to say, and I can't remember what it is. You need to get one of these in your life, by the way. Hardcore cycling. Check that out. Look at that. Why is it back to front? Hardcore cycling. That's a coaster, so yeah. I just put my coffee on it. It's nothing special. Right, I'm going to be jumping back and forth between streams here in case we run dry of comments on either one. But I'm not planning on staying live for ages. 30 minutes, 40 minutes tops. I've got to make dinner tonight, or tea. Checking in from Cowbridge. Thank you, Jevsy. By the way, do you like my Christmas jumper? I think that's what I was going to say. How can I even forget about my Christmas jumper? Back to the Future. Sort of detracts from the terrible hat. One of my goals for 2023, I think I made a video about it, but my goal now, my only goal for 2023 is to defeat Tom Pidcock. No, no, there are genuine plans for next year, but defeating Tom Pidcock is probably very low down on that list now. Yeah, because he's another level. Basically, I made a video, so you can go and check that out and leave a comment down below on that video if you have any ideas of what I could do next year. I did see that, Troy. Troy's just said, did you see the Aussie guy Jack getting 1 million meters of elevation this year? I saw GCN covered that. Thank you, Dave. I'm looking very festive. I wanted to do an interview with me on my channel. Well, hit me up. I'm quite cheap. Okay, YouTube, comment. Apologies, Instagram. We're over here. Tim Bliss, everybody, Ian, Lee, Alejandro, Jeff, Merry Christmas. You're getting in early with that one. Am I going back to Sacalobra? Yes, in short, I am going back to Sacalobra. John Buckman, nice to see you here, buddy. YouTube channel's looking good. Phil Adams, 7 up a kilo for 20 minutes, bro. Let's go, what's the plan? Indeed, do you remember that a couple of years ago? Well, it seems like ages ago anyway, that we said we were going to do 7 watts per kilo for 20 minutes. I've done 7.2 for 12 minutes in the past, so I'm gonna ambitiously keep that on my radar for next year because it could be something that that does help me in a way. All right, 5 minutes in, we're still going strong. Good. got half an hour to go. Bet Pidcock can't get up the struggle. Probably can. USA, training in Tucson, Arizona, but a resident at Southern Colorado. Wow, Kim, you live at almost 3,000 meters elevation. I live at about 11 meters of elevation. I live in a place called Wales, which is quite close to the sea in all directions. Any other famous Grand Tour climbs, KOMs on the bucket list? Well, funny enough, I've been reading social media a lot over the last couple of days, and obviously people seem to think I'm a KOM hunter, which I don't even call. That's not even my name. You know, imagine if you actually called yourself KOM hunt or KOM hunter. That would be bad. That's an inside joke. Come to Jersey, I'd love to. Although that's an island, just like the UK, so I don't know. It's pretty close to the UK. What was I saying? I've lost my train of thought. KOM hunt. Yes, I don't technically go for KOMs. It sort of stems back to my days racing as a pro. So when I raced as a professional, I always kept challenging myself by obviously racing, and that was my way of my competitive edge. When you KOM hunt, in my eyes, it's sort of when you go out the door and you have to get a KOM or you have to go for a segment or something, and I'm in no way wired like that. It's just something I just don't do. If someone challenges me to one, then maybe yes, but I don't hang my hat of success on like my KOMs, because in my opinion, like if someone like me who's got had the Sacroba KOM, I would always go and I would like to compare myself against the best, regardless if I'm nowhere near the best. That is something that lives rent free inside my brain, is that I want to compare myself to the best climbers, regardless of the situation. So that's why I don't go for KOMs. I go for performances up some of the most renowned or toughest climbs that I think like are worthy, basically. I feel like I'm doing a really crap job of explaining that, but oh, for goodness sake, Ed, you're not coming in the video. You anywhere close to the bulk KOM could be an easy one to take off. Yes, I am very close to it. Motorola, definitely want to do the Motorola. Plenty of people, to be honest, plenty of people have recommended climbs, plenty of people have recommended climbs, and I thank you for that, but there's only a certain amount that I can, even attempt, let alone be in a peak shape for. Did I already have a high FTP as a beginner cyclist? And the easy answer to that is, here are my numbers. When I first started training with a power meter when I was about 18 years old, 17 years old, my functional threshold power was about 280 to 300 watts at 66 kilograms. So make of that what you will. Thoughts on the latest Zwift race cheating scandal? I just shake my head at it. Unbelievable. Paul Ingram, take a Phil Guyman Cookie Man KOM. He's actually got one in France near Aid, actually. Aid's in the Instagram chat. Alp Cycles. He has indeed got one over there, so we could potentially, without flying to the US, get one of Phil Guyman's KOMs without actually going across the ocean. Hey Tracy, shout out to Jersey. Haley's first time on Instagram Live. Thoughts on Scotland being in Zwift? Sounds good. Sounds good. When's Wales coming? Speaking of Wales, Ironman Wales was awesome. First ever triathlon. If I can do it, so can you. Would make a great video series. Says Ian. Yes, it would. But it's not happening. It's not happening yet. You're damn right. Kim Pidcock was very likely on a standard UCI legal Pinarello at 6.8. Will you use the 6.8 standard? No, because I don't think Pidcock would have been on a 6.8 kilo bike. He probably would have been carrying a water bottle up there, you know, whatever they use when they're out training. These Ineos lots, probably actually everything's carried for them, but you never know. Purely speculation. I'm waiting for Tom Pidcock to come on live with me on Instagram, but he's not showing up. Instead, I've got to make do with Alp Cycles. I'll have a hell of a shock if Tom actually comes on live, won't I? But he won't have a better Christmas jumper than me. Ooh, what is that event? Ooh, the Ardennes. That sounds quite hard, actually. James, Everest world record. Yeah, I've been talking about that for a while, haven't I? Yeah. Indoors or out? How to train for Pollock hill climb. I have no experience hill climbing. First of all, identify how long it's going to take you, John. Estimate how long it's going to take you. Break it down from there. Create a breakthrough session for yourself that you can do a couple of weeks before the Pollock hill climb, which will probably be about a 30-minute session at the target power you want to be able to do. But breaking it down further, if Pollock hill climb is going to take you, 20 to 30 minutes, you could do 5 by 8 minute repeats at 105, 110% of FTP. Just a thought, but that could be something that you build up to eventually. You're in good shape, in good conditions. For you, what are the best 5 climbs and bikes to ride it? Well, I can't say which bikes because it'll just be the same bike I'm riding now because that's what I'm sponsored to ride. But it is also the best bike I've ever ridden, so the Factor O2 VAM, of course. Best 5 climbs that I've ever ridden, because I haven't actually ridden many climbs, let's be honest. I would say, you see, some of them are local and you probably won't know them. Some of my favourite climbs are the ones that I live right next to. So, although Cyclocross was awesome, I'm going to say, and I did say back then, that Alpe d'Huez was an incredible climb. I loved how there was so much happening on the climb, and I also loved how there was so much to see. Whereas I felt like, for example, the Col de Galibier was like being on a treadmill, and there wasn't much to see, and it was a little bit boring. So that gives you an idea of the sort of climbs that I like to do and the climbs that I don't like to do. Ed, what one race would you like to win if you were on the Pro Tour? Very excited about your call. Greetings from Germany. Thank you. Wow. I think Strada. Yeah, the Italian one-day classic, which technically is no one-day classic. But I quite like the dirt roads, the dust roads, a little bit of gravel thrown into it. It's quite hilly, in a sense that it's quite tiring. And it's also quite a fast race, and lots happens in it. So it's quite, not only is it, I think things like Milan San Remo, like, to me, are boring, apart from the last, like, hour. But I like races that are just packed with action from start to finish. So those are the ones I'd probably like to be involved in the most. Any Zwift Academy Pro contract aspirations? I have spoken about this, Kim, but like yes and no, because like I would like to progress in the Zwift Academy, but I don't think I'd be able to go back to pro cycling per se with the kind of contracts that they offer riders now. I would need a very flexible one because of the experiences I've had in pro cycling. So it would have to be flexible. So if I did make it, I wouldn't necessarily accept one that's just what I had previously. But saying that, you know, never say never. But I always feel like if you're going to go through something like that, a system, then you should be, when you start it, you should be willing to get all the way there and get, you know, your aspirations are true. So if I was to enter it and then, you know, get 80% of the way and then deliberately pull out, for example, I'm not even saying I'd get 80% of the way, but just for argument's sake, I'd pull out because I didn't want to get that far, then that would affect other people's progression, and that's not right, in my opinion. So, did I know that Pidcock was trying to get the KOM, or was it a shock to you? No. I didn't know he was going for it. But also, he did title the ride the Cyclocross KOM. So, part of me thinks that he was thinking of going for it. How does climbing on Zwift compare to reality? Got a question over on Instagram Live. The Alp, for example. Yeah, Alpe d'Huez, you know, the gradient and everything there's a lot of similarities. But Alpe d'Huez in real life is much better than the Alp on Zwift. So if you like the Alp on Zwift, get out to France and do the real climb because it's much better. Yes, John. John Buckman comes in and says, you ever thought of organising your own hill climbing event? Yes. This year, or next year, 2023, and a gravel one. My mind's been blown with all this gravel riding. I'm sorry. We have to do a gravel hill climb. It's happening. Have you ever raced in Northern Ireland? I have, I think. And I can't remember when that was. I can't remember when. But I'm pretty sure it was Northern Ireland. It might have been close to the border, but I'm pretty sure it was Northern Ireland. Perhaps you'll also get Team Ineos to tow you up Cyclocross. Well, I don't think he got towed up. You know, I have no idea. He's probably done it under his own steam. You know, this is Tom Pidcock we're talking about. Or trying to catch up. You doing any gravel events? No, I'm not doing any gravel events because it's a little bit out of my league. AD says, I think you should Everest the Col de Loz. Yeah. Well, if I am, you're going to do it with me. He's somewhat allergic now to long rides after 300k epic around the hardest Croatian terrain. 2023 challenge. Oh my word, 6 times of Ventoux. I'll tell you what, my partner Charlie, she's done the 3 repeats of Ventoux in a day, and that was mega. I didn't do it. I wasn't out in France then. She did it, and that was pretty nuts. So have I done Beic na Bar up in Scotland, which is the UK's, well, most mythical climb, like longest climb. I don't know if it's the longest, certainly one of the most known. No. But if I can, I'll get up there next year. Do you really think Pidcock's KOM is legit? Says Texty Max. Well, we've been sharing DMs, so I don't know. People keep telling me that it's like 50-50 if he's done it behind a motorbike or if he's done it on his own, like punching wind. But there's no proof, so we can't, we have to say that he's done it under his own steam. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a world champion, Olympic champion. Strada or the Tour? Well, they're two different things, isn't they? I'd love to do both of them. What's my YouTube? My YouTube is just my name. That's quite simple. Do you think Pidcock motor pissed? I've no idea. Some great questions. Any non-cycling challenges coming up? No, not currently. Best advice for becoming a better cyclist? It's a very wide question. Just in general, I would try and find a group of people or a community of some kind that has people who can relate to what you're doing and potentially have already been through what you're trying to go through. That would be my best advice, generalizing. Who did you cycle for when pro? Well, for the vast majority of it, potentially the most successful British team in the UK. That make any sense? Rafa Honda GLT. When did I realise you're actually very talented? Why, thank you. Sorry, I wasn't expecting that question. Well, I'm not very talented, I don't think. I've just been very consistent for the best part of 10 to 12 years. So I doubt I've got any talent in me. I've pretty much got to where I've got because I've just been consistent over many years and was quite young. There's nothing really in my family that really points towards any sort of physical feat of strength or endurance. But it was probably about 2016, 2017. That was probably when. What do you think of gravel versus cyclocross? I absolutely love them both. Yes, I really did say that. I think gravel race would suit you well. Less technical than cyclocross and more power. Yeah, I mean, you're right, Tim. You're 100% right, yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Phil V, for the dono. That is much appreciated. Dirty Reaver would suit you well for gravel. Went long steady climbing to Sense all day. I loved it. Non-technical, best gravel experience. Yeah. Cheers, Paul. Thank you for that insight. And again, thank you, Phil, for the dono. Greetings from Belgium. Awesome. I'll have to come over writing Belgium roads. How much can Pidcock's KOM be improved by? Well, I don't know. It depends who goes for it. Like, I think there's plenty of riders, if I'm being really honest, there's plenty of riders who are racing, top level. We're talking Pogacar, etc., who would beat that time, under same circumstances, fresh, everything else, they would go faster than Pidcock, yeah. That's why the KOM, that's why I've always said a KOM, or, to me, a KOM or an award or winning something is nothing like as rewarding as the process, because anybody can be better than you, anybody can beat you, but you can be most proud about the work you've put in to get to your end result. No one can take that away from you, but someone can take a KOM from you. So that's the way I look at it. What's the best and worst for you about cycling? Do you think there's covert doping in the pro peloton. Many teams are rescued this year. Well, that's a pretty deep question. But, I won the Haute Route Alpe d'Huez this year. I finished second, but I was bumped up to first because first place had done something. We'll just leave it there. But basically, if you take a doping out of it, I just don't think the sport is doing enough to raise awareness for the sport in general. And given that it's a sport where performances are so good, I just don't think that being clean is good enough. Like, we should be doing far more for this sport to get it to the masses and to make it seem like a great sport that anybody can be involved in. But instead, it always pains me. It always has pained me to see cycling as a sport that's quite, it can be quite difficult to be humble. When you talk to people who say, I go to a social gathering and I talk to people about cycling, it's quite it's a sport that many people don't really understand and don't really care to understand that it's quite a difficult sport to sort of bring forward into the world, in my opinion. And hopefully, hopefully it becomes a bit more viewable. I think, I don't know what better way I can say that, but hopefully it becomes a bit more viewable for the public, and becomes less of oh my word, these people are untouchable. We can't even see what they're doing because they're hiding all of their social. There's no Netflix is doing a good job, and Movistar are doing a great job, but it's still quite scripted. It's not it should be not scripted. It should be more raw. And that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, that's I've had that, long before YouTube. I've had that gripe with cycling. It's not something that's new at all. How many days will I have off the bike over Christmas? Not enough. Evening, John Canning. Sorry, I'm catching up now. A Rapid Rich. Good evening. Who will win, Liverpool or City? Oh my word. Get out of the chat, John. Oh. Yeah, me and Andrew Feather head to Sacramento, bro. That would be epic, wouldn't it? Although, I don't know how I feel about doing tag teams on KOMs. It doesn't, I don't think it sits, I don't know where it sits with me currently. I don't know where it sits with me. It's, I feel like you should be doing it solo. I don't know. Thoughts on Hugh Carthy? I know Hugh Carthy. I raced with him on Laverack on GLT for a number of years. Awesome. Awesome guy. Very down to earth. Preston's finest. How to become a top cyclist? I could help with that. Thank you. Biggest regret in terms of training? Well, I started cycling quite late. Late teenager. I don't know if I'd call that a regret, but sometimes you naturally find your calling. I did spin diesel. Someone mentioned it earlier in the chat. Jack Thompson, 1,000,000 meters. Summer or winter riding? Summer. I did indeed put your art, well, not on the wall. It can't go on the wall because I'll get told off by a landlord. But it is here with my pride and joy. I can't draw a picture of Tom on it though. Any good festive 500 tips, Ed? Don't like riding inside. Ooh, well, it depends where you are and what the weather's like, but really, nah, you're a bit stuck. If you don't like riding inside and you have to ride outside, then you need mud guards, you need some spats overshoes, and you need a very good rain cape. Those are the 3 things you basically need to succeed in winter riding. Get those 3 things and you can basically ride all day in the winter. Trust me. Would I try an Everest and where? Oh my word. Yes, but I have no idea where I would do it. I've not looked into it that much. Okay. How long are we going for? That's 30 minutes. So I'm going to wrap this up with a couple of quick-fire questions here that are in the chat. Any particular countries you'd like to visit and cycle in? I mean, there's countries I've been to and I want to go back to. Japan being the most prominent. So, yeah. I know I haven't mentioned any countries that I haven't been to, but Japan is one I want to go back to. Am I going to the Istria 300 again next year? I hope so. Have I thought of riding for Grand Fonda World Series Rainbow Jersey? I have thought about it, Stuart. I have thought about it. Oh, Dave, who is your favourite pro cyclist? Mine's Wout van Aert. Well, it was Tom Pidcock. No. My favourite pro cyclist. This is not a rapid fire question. Favourite pro cyclist. Sepkus? Maybe? Or Jay Vine. I'm starting to get a bit of a love for Jay Vine for some reason. Am I doing the Mallorca 3-on-2 in 2023? Maybe. It's supposed to be quick fire questions. If I was in the cycling industry, what industry would you be in? That question gets asked a lot to people who are in sport, and the most common answer is wouldn't have a clue, and that's my answer as well. Favorite cycling book? I'm actually reading because I can't read. I can read. I'm joking. There's a book by Lonely Planet on the most epic bike rides in the world. It's got lots of pictures in it. That's what I'm currently working my way through. It's more of a coffee table book. What has been your lowest point in your cycling career, mentally, physically? Has it been so low you've considered retiring? Never considered retiring. Even when I stopped racing professionally, because I just started doing what I'm doing now, I managed to set it up so that when I did transition over, I didn't have to go through a period of scrambling around. I literally just made the switch. So I would say the lowest, both mentally and physically, and you can see there's videos if you go back far enough, probably in 2018, where I crashed in Canada at a professional race and was a right mess. That was hard mentally and physically for a good few months. Would the new US Cycling League idea work in the UK? Any other ideas to raise the profile? I haven't actually heard about or read about the US Cycling League idea, Ian, but I will read up on it. And then I will give an opinion. Merry Christmas to you two, Spin. If I come to Mallorca, I'll let you know. I will do it. If I'm coming anywhere next year, I'm going to let you know. YouTube, Instagram, I'll let you know. 100%. So, that's going to wrap it up. Quick fire ending, 35 minutes. I wanted to keep it short, keep it sweet. Thank you to those who have joined. Michael Haran, you're late. You've been too busy Zwifting. I did forget that it was team time for all night at the WTRL. I apologise. But yeah, Merry Christmas to one and all. Oh, look, you're all coming in now. Benji's here as well. Merry Christmas to one and all. Have a good festive period. And look after yourselves, your family, your friends, and everybody else in between. And I will catch you very soon. Again, thank you for your support. Especially over the last couple of days, when I need to do the most to support me emotionally after losing my KOM to Tom Pidcock. I was hoping he was going to jump on Instagram Live, but I think he's doing the WTRL Team Time Show tonight. Oh yes, and best of luck to anybody who's doing the Festive 500 starting in 2 days' time. Make sure you carb up, etc., etc. And yeah, that's going to be it. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon. Take care. And this is a weird bit now where you try to like log out without like looking like an idiot, like staring at the screen, and it's taking me ages to like find the exit button. And yeah, here we go. Okay, how do I? Okay, there it is. See ya.